The story that I want to share with you all today happened about 2 years ago at the beginning of my sophomore year. Coming out of the summer season of baseball and into the new school year, we were made aware that several kids would be cut from the roster due to an influx of transfers from various high schools in the area. We were told there would be a list taped to the windows of the players that would continue with the team the following year. As I walk up to the list, anxiously preparing to check, hoping my name will be there, my eyes follow down the list, and I realize that my name is not there. I was unsure of what to do next, and I was sad, I was angry, I felt betrayed. But worst of all, I felt like a letdown to those around me, my past coaches, my parents, and past teammates that I had played baseball with for so many years. I felt as if everything that everyone had done for my baseball career to get it to the point that it was at was a waste. All the money and the time that people spent on me in that moment had all felt like a waste. This day was a new beginning and a new chapter in my life. But moments after reading that paper and stepping back into my dad's car, it had felt like the end, and I wasn't sure what I would do next. I'd felt lost in the moment. I needed to find my way back, and with my 11-year baseball career coming to an end, slowly but surely, I would have to pave a new way in my life. I wasn't sure what the next big event in my life would be. For the first time since I was 5 years old, I was out of sports, and at that stage of my life where I knew I wouldn't be participating in any other high school sports, and knew that not only my baseball career, but my athletic career was also coming to an end. The reason I wanted to share this story with you guys is because I believe that this moment shaped me and changed me more than any other moment over the 4-year course of high school, positive or negative. It helped prepare me for countless situations and how to deal with my emotions in a more proper form. Although this story includes a lot of hurt and negative emotions, a lot of positive came out of the situation as well. I'd gotten closer with friends and picked up on new passions of mine. But the most important thing that this situation did for me was coming to realize my faults in this situation and knowing how I needed to make changes for myself. Now, school has never been my thing, and being a 4.0 GPA student was never me, but I knew in other areas of my life, also including school, I needed to work harder to attain the goals that I had set for myself. Regardless of the events that occurred in the past or how your plan works out, you must constantly evolve towards the person you want to be, and regardless of the hiccups in the road, you must keep yourself focused on what is in front of you and keep the past behind you. Nothing is ever a guarantee in life, and you must make the most of what you have while you have it, as it can be stripped away from you in a second, and you might not ever expect it.
A makerspace. It smells like glue and wood and maybe ozone if something went wrong. It has lots of room for imagining and all the tools to bring the imagining about. It's also the best of what life has to offer. During my time in high school and at Tapestry, I've learned much that will help me in my adult life. But so many times, people have tried to teach me that there's a deep conflict between art and science, that I have to make a choice between humanities and STEM. I was taught this by the media, school, and helpful adults telling me to follow my passion, singular, as if I could have only one. Scientists wanted me to follow my passion for science. Artists wanted me to follow my passion for art. I, however, embody both the soul of an artist and the soul of a scientist. As an artist and an engineering student, I am whole. Does anyone here have only one facet? You can make anything in a makerspace. It's a blank canvas in which you can build a rocket, repair a shelf, create a puzzle box, or embroider your sigil onto an outfit. While you build your dream, you stand near others, building theirs. If your dreams are compatible, you learn from each other, and finding ways to make compatible dreams means you find friends and allies. There's always danger for the uninitiated. If you don't know how to make something go, it can light on fire. The tools put demands on you. They can be dangerous, they can be expensive, or they can just plain not work if your skills aren't up to the task. The more you know, the more you learn, the better your tools work, and the better what you build turns out. The more your movement accomplishes. Oh wait, I was talking about makerspaces, wasn't I? People sometimes turn creation into a competition, way of showing how you are better than the other makers. As with any other endeavor, focusing only on yourself and winning the competition means others won't teach you. Even worse, you will never teach someone else, and all your skills walk out the door when you do. Most makerspaces are publicly supported, stocked and designed by a benefactor, a school, the community at large, and guided by the space's users. They may have equipment that none of the users could have afforded on their own. Even if you have your own 3D printer, embroidery machine, or metalworking tools, you probably couldn't afford them all. Something surprising happens when the community gives makers access to the tools they need to create. They give back to the community. There's another limit on creativity, your imagination. Like anything else, I expanded my imagination by talking with other creators. I watched videos and tried to figure out the underlying technique that let them create. I worked alongside others in the space and watched what they built. My engineering class fabricated parts for the auto shop, for instance. In other words, I participated in a community. I learned from it. I helped others in the community grow, and we were stronger together. Your skill increases what you can build, but eventually you come up against the natural limits of the medium, your tools, or even your community. Then you change strategy. You help people dream by describing your own dreams and listening to theirs. You may be able to design for the 3D printer, but someone else can weld, so together you build something stronger, something larger, and something longer lasting than either could have alone. You get people to imagine a world where what you want to create is not just a dream, but an inevitability. Every speech ends with advice. What lesson would I pass on to the congregation and the people just now entering high school? I tell people to go in all the directions that feed their soul. Look for the work you get lost in. Ask who else is near that work and who can help you accomplish more together. That is how you build the future that you want to live in.
Hello, my name is Grace Miller, and I've been a member of Tapestry since birth, and I've also been working in the nursery as a caregiver for about 5 years. UU values have always had an impact on my decision-making and thought process, and as I grow older, I use them now more than ever. However, when I was younger, I never realized that the words we sang in youth classes to the tune of Do, Re, Mi might influence my beliefs or what I would want to do for a career. As kids, I don't think we really understand much about political elections. For me, when presidential elections rolled around, I would watch TV with my family, and I saw two faces accompanied by their trademark colors, red and blue. And as I watched these two candidates debate on TV, I found little difference between political debates and a football game. It seemed that the politicians, too, had a team that helped them maneuver through an election, each had a mascot and a team color, and rounds in a game that ended with a winner. For me, election days were like game days, and as my family and I gathered around the TV to watch the results the same way we would watch a Super Bowl, I couldn't help but ask, wait, who are we rooting for again? Little did I know that the results of a presidential election can affect how people live and how people treat each other. It wasn't until I was 14 that I understood the impact that a single voice could have. Due to an extra long spring break during my sophomore year, my use of social media increased immensely, as it did for many other people my age. It seemed that many videos I watched were about protesting injustice or the hidden motives behind political candidates. This started my interest in environmental matters and social inequality. My family always collected water for plants, we recycled, we composted, we did other things to help the earth. However, I never really felt like this made a big difference. It seemed the more I reused, reduced, recycled, the worse the health of the planet got. I felt disillusioned by documentaries stating that the recycling system was broken and how large oil companies were a powerful force, often at odds with the environment and conservation. Working against the powerful seemed hopeless. How could I, a teenager who could not vote or stop people from cutting down trees in the Amazon, make change in a world when my voice is drowned out by others? But in the isolation of my room, I learned one voice can make a difference. I got interested in Black Lives Matter movement and the women's rights protests through social media during my 2 years of isolation from in-person school. I began to understand inequality like I never had before, and I saw how much people cared on social media. Somewhere between writing papers in English about power structures and debating inequality with my classmates in history, I discovered my own voice and opinions, and I learned that I had an influence on how others may think and that my perspective mattered too. As I did research on an extended essay for my history class on redlining, the housing discrimination practice that was widely used against African Americans in the 1960s, I found myself stuffing 20 pages of ideas into 15 pages. This epiphany about social inequality helped me decide on my college major. Urban studies is a field that focuses on the social, political, and economic processes that influence the development of cities. Starting this fall at UC Berkeley, I am eager to learn about the systems that created our cities, and how the built environments shapes behavior. And with this knowledge, I hope to someday create cities, neighborhoods, and buildings that are environmentally friendly and can improve the lives of people. Looking back, I learned a lot at Tapestry about the world and myself. It was the last two UU values in the Do Re Mi song that I sang on Sunday mornings that helped me make decisions about my future. Build a fair and peaceful world, and take care of Earth's lifeboat.